All right, guys, we're down here at the Big 3 East. I'm down here with Geissele, and we're going to be taking a look at some of the awesome triggers that they have. I've always said that I would never use any trigger but a mil-spec trigger and an AR-15, and these people changed my mind. So let's start off with, what do you got that's pretty new?
Relatively new. We released it at SHOT Show, but it was just recently available to the market. Would be the Tavor trigger, the Super Sabra. That was a 4.5 pound trigger, 2.5 pound on the first stage, about 2 pounds on the second stage. It is a SSA derivative. The SSA was Crane Naval Surface Warfare Safety Certified trigger. That's a very proud thing for us. But it does. It dramatically changes the difference of the pull between that and the stock trigger.
I will say that the IWI trigger needed a little bit of work, and they definitely accomplished that. And you guys are now completely working with Geissele to bring that Super Sabra to the market in a lot of things that they're putting out.
It's very readily available. It was about the 5th of last month that we finally released it, and I actually believe they're in stock right now on our website. They're fairly readily available.
Excellent. Sounds great.
In my seat.
So what else you got? Like, what would be, like, if you were to recommend a trigger to somebody, say for like a precision AR-15 build, what would you tell them to do?
One thing that's unique about us is we make triggers for purposes. Yeah. So it's not just a replacement trigger for mil-spec. You don't purchase based on a pound. The triggers are actually engineered for the purpose of which they were designed for. So, for example, if you were shooting more precision, I would tell you to look at something like this. This is an SSAE. SSAE is probably our most popular trigger. It's a 3.5 pound two-stage trigger. It's about 2.5 pounds on the first stage. It's about a pound on the second stage. Very, very, very minimal, no creep. We describe it as glass-like braking or candy cane-like brake. There's no creep at all. You bring it back, you'll feel a noticeable, pronounced stop. That's the end of your first stage. You get on target, a little bit more pressure, and the round will fire. On target. From there, if you're doing more of a carbine type, close quarter combat, or anybody that's looking for a good general purpose trigger, they don't really have a specific use for it, home defense, stuff like that. We have our SSA. SSA is probably our second most popular trigger, if not maybe also the most popular. That one is a 4.5 pound two-stage, 2.5 pounds on the first stage, 2 pounds on the second stage. It is the semi-automatic version of the SSF, which is a trigger that we developed for SOCOM.
Gotcha.
That is perfect for all around. It does have a little bit of engineered forgiveness between the two stages, and that's so that under a high-stress situation, you don't accidentally discharge the weapon.
Right.
Moving down, we have, this is part of our ALG line. ALG Defense is our sister company. It's more focused on high-quality parts, but budget-minded consumers. This actually is a mil-spec trigger. It's been nickel Teflon coated, nickel boron coated. The sears are buffed and polished, and it's still a 6.5 pound mil-spec trigger, but it feels much, much better than your stock. And it's a relatively inexpensive upgrade. It's a $65 trigger. The other thing that we're very happy and excited about this year is the ALG rail. That is an ALG M-Lock EMR. That rail actually retails for 10 inches at $100.
Nice.
So it's a very, very inexpensive rail. It does not require a torque wrench for installation. It comes with a little trick wrench. So it uses very ordinary tools. You don't need anything special to install it. So for first-time builders and stuff like that, and people that are budget conscious, it's a good option. Moving down further, we have the SCAR. The SCAR trigger works both in the 16 and the 17, and it is built off of the SSA. So it'll have a very similar pull and feel to the SSA, but that is also a pretty remarkable upgrade over the stock trigger.
Yeah.
Moving down further, we already talked about this. We go down to this guy here. This one has our MK8 on it. It's a Geissele M-Lock rail. The M-Lock rail we released this year. This particular trigger is an S3G. This is more designed for 3-gun competition and rapid fire type shooting. It's a very, very short pull, a very, very short reset. The reset is actually just under 1/8 of an inch forward. It's very, very, very short, which allows you to get very high RPM. It is a single stage trigger, but if you're doing double taps and triple taps and stuff like that, you can really get rounds out very quickly.
Very cool, man. Well, thank you very much for giving us a really quick rundown of all the different things that you brought with you today. Why don't we go ahead and fire some of these up?
Sounds good.
Sounds good, man.
Post tomorrow, you'll probably be on